Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning, bright and early. This is Vince Sirianni from Centennial Lending with your opening your doors to real estate and finance. Today, I am fortunately joined by quite the group of people here. I have my partner, Ed Santiago, residential loan specialist and mortgage loan officer. I'm joined also by the lovely Kim Douglas from Coldwell Banker, real estate professional, one of the best I know, and Mr. John Bigham, excellent insurance broker out of Pottstown, and he's going to be the focal point of our show today. So good morning, everybody. How are we faring with the lovely weather we've been having?
Awesome. It's good to see you.
It's great to see you, too.
It was a nice week, right? It was nice to get some snow. I like that. It's in and it's out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought it was very pretty.
Yeah.
It came and went pretty quickly. So
That's the way we like it, right?
And John, any slip and fall calls from the...
Not any slip and falls, but we had some interesting auto claims. We'll put it that
I
way.
can imagine.
I can imagine.
I would imagine last week it would have been even, like the day after would have even been worse because everybody's falsely thinking that the road is just wet, you know? So...
A word of the wise would be don't get in an accident with a taxi.
You go.
Nothing good comes from it.
Yeah, their insurance not so great.
Not always.
Not always. Oh, goodness. So today we're here to focus on insurance policies, what's changing in the insurance world, and all of this being a part of real estate and part of buying a home is homeowners insurance and different types of insurances. And as the market tightens on its lending guidelines and other things, so do other companies on their guidelines. And John's going to give us a little bit of information. First of all, John, how can everybody get a hold of you?
The easiest way to get in touch with us would be either via our phone number, which is 484-366-1281. The name of our firm is JAB Insurance Brokers. We're located in the Pottstown, PA area. And other than that, it would be through our website at www.jabins.com. You could submit right online for a quote. We are an independent agency, so we have a bunch of different companies we could shop your insurance around to provide the best coverage at the most competitive rate.
Excellent, excellent. Kim, how can everybody get a hold of you because they want to use you as their realtor?
Yeah, and I have some questions
I know you
for
make
you
me
too.
want to buy a house. So.
Do I?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm with Coldwell Banker Preferred. We've got offices all over the place, 9 different offices all around the area. I am in the Bluebell office, and but again, I work everywhere too. Okay, I work at Montgomery County, Chester, Philadelphia, Delaware County, and you can go to the website. Just go to kimdouglashomes.com for more information about real estate and see what's on the market, get insurance and mortgage estimates there as well.
Excellent, excellent. Edwin
Santiago, Centennial Lending Group. I can be reached at 215-901-0878. We are available 24/7.
Yes, we are, and I'm at 610-564-0620. So let's hit this sucker burning hot here. We need some heat. It's been too cold. Talk to me, John. Tell me what's going on in insurance, baby.
Well, related to the mortgage industry most closely would be homeowners insurance. And right now that marketplace is changing. For a lot of you who have had your homeowners insurance for many, many years, it might be a good time to look around or at least read through your policies. The market has hardened a great deal, meaning the rates are going up and it can be a little harder to provide coverage. Some companies have actually stopped writing homeowners in the 5-county area due to claims losses over the past couple of years.
Yeah, one of the most interesting things that I learned in being in real estate was that the homeowner's insurance, it stays with the house, right? I mean, so if this house has had a couple of claims on it or something and you're buying it, this will reflect on your policy, correct?
It can.
Yeah.
It can reflect on your policy, and also claims that you have had at your current home when you go to purchase a new home can follow with you.
So you got two things like kind of coming at you there.
That can work against you. And also, when you look at the disclosure for the real estate, it's really important to note if there have been any claims on the home for the prior owner. Because when they come up, you really need to look at it to see if an insurance company, especially if it's a water claim. There may be a chance that the new insurance company might be harder to get, number one, and number two, the rate would be a good bit higher.
Now, John, you had mentioned a couple of interesting things, which kind of, nothing ever seems to surprise me, but you surprised me this morning talking about these roof cameras and things like that. I mean, everybody out there, what we're used to is we get our clients to go to people like John to get insurance, and it's sometimes they want a copy of the appraisal. Sometimes they'll come out and do an inspection of the house. But
in the old days, it used to just be, give us the address, give us a little info, this is the quote, we're done.
But tell us about some of these little nifty things they're doing these days.
Yeah, some of the new things that have come out is they're very strict on the replacement cost of your home. And that's a big issue right now because a lot of the home values have come down.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with insurance, it's really immaterial on what you're purchasing the home for because the replacement cost or cost to rebuild that is factored in by a certain computer system that we enter the construction type, if it's frame, if it's brick, how many square feet it is. And when that's all said and done, a number spits out that they believe it would cost to rebuild your home, and it's really up to them that if they want to offer you the policy, they want to make sure you insure it to 100% of the replacement cost. Because if not, they really don't know what the risk is.
Exactly.
So, and above and beyond that, once a policy is issued, in order to check up on what was input into their system or given to the carrier, they are inspecting all the homes. And an inspection, especially for a larger home, can be very involved where they come inside.
Yeah.
They bring their ladder with them. They actually have roof cameras that telescope up and look at your roof to see the condition.
Wow.
If there's any shingles that are lifting or broken, that can be a problem. You need to replace them. And they only.
So you're saying the insurance company can then come in now and say, you know, not only do you have inspectors saying these things, but insurance company can now require, in order for you to be insured, that things be replaced, things like you said, the roofing, stuff like that?
Yes. Usually there is, and this is a really bad part about the insurance process of homeowners. Usually you can get a policy issued to you for closing, and subsequent to that, when they inspect your home, they have up to 60 days to cancel your policy for whatever reason that they would like. And so they will send you a letter after the inspection based on some moss growing on the siding, some mold, all different types of things that you have to rectify in that 60-day period. If not, you'll be automatically canceled and you have to find other insurance.
Yeah, then the mortgage company's going to take issue with that, right, Ed?
Yeah, and also, well, depends, but I would imagine in Kim's world that's kind of a big deal because I'm sure some of your buyers are like, I really like the house. They're not going to fix it, but I'm okay with it. I'll fix it over time.
Now, yeah, the buyer's okay with it. Now all of a sudden they've got somebody else to answer to, right?
Right.
Yeah. Not only mortgage issues, sometimes depending on what type of mortgage you're going with, that they're going to require certain things be done. Now you've got somebody else looking down and, you know, also calling the shots.
Wow. That's amazing. And Kim, you deal with a lot of buyers.
I do.
You must see all kinds of things because you're on the front line out there with.
Yeah, and you want to protect them. You know, when you're counseling and working with your buyers, you want to protect them the best possible way. You know, when it comes to inspection issues and things like that. I try to tell my buyers and counsel them in a way that they're going to stick with issues that are structural or safety, and they're not trying to just beat somebody up to get a lower price on the house. So those are pretty much the issues, though, not to scare people off and say, oh, my God, here's something else I have to worry about now with inspections and now with insurance. But you just want safety.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it's about.
Kim's going to keep you, John's going to keep you from having regrets 6 months after you buy the house.
Buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Buyer's remorse.
The money pit, right?
Yep, exactly.
It's not like you can return the house to the store and get a refund.
Yeah, exactly.
Although I did hear a story in my office recently. This is kind of crazy. A guy came back and he wanted his house back. I think he's going through some issues.
20 years. That's the first time I heard that.
I know. I never heard it either. The guy, like 3 years later, he's like, my wife sold that out from under me. And there, you guys both know, you all know that there are things in place that won't allow that to happen.
Right.
She somewhat had a power of attorney or something like that, but it was crazy. The guy showed up at the office saying he wanted his house back.
Wow. Could you imagine getting that, knocking on your door at 7 o'clock in the morning? Hey, I want my house back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
This didn't go down the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the one thing that I really like about real estate, too, is that I think with all the processes in place, it kind of keeps people legal and honest.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And I
think that's what this is about, too, right, John?
It really is. I mean, you know, there's so much criticism about what's going on in banking and, you know, being in the business, Edwin, all of us in the business, we don't like to see things tighten up, but you have to correct the course of where real estate was going. even though it's several years after, you want to keep real estate flowing, but at the same time, you don't want to lead up to another explosion like we had, in 2007, 2008. And it's, Kim, I think you hit the nail on the head there. And John, I'm sure you'll agree. It's unfortunately, until there's a normalcy back in everything. I mean, there's good deals out there. There's low rates. I mean, it's a great time to buy, by all means. But you're going to be buying under different rules and regulations now, which, that's the purpose of this show, is to share this type of information. We don't want to fluff everything and say, oh, it's the rates are low. I mean, I just said it, but, we're here to talk about the
what
other
you're going to
parts.
encounter, the different things that you're going to deal with, but you'll be helped along the way.
Yeah.
It's tougher, but what they're calling this now is the new normal.
Exactly.
Right.
It is. So
It's
if you never
exactly right.
bought before, you didn't know any different.
Yeah, now you're not getting in the boxing ring with an amateur boxer. You're getting in with Mike Tyson, okay? And it's gonna hurt.
And he might bite.
Yeah,
Just know.
But you might lose an ear, but you will gain a good value, and you won't regret it.
You might get his tattoo too.
Yeah. And plastic surgery is cheaper these days on things like that. You could sue the guy. So.
So there are different types of policies too when it comes to having, like, if you're going to buy a condo or something. Like, sometimes maybe you could explain that. Because when people buy into what's known to be like a townhouse or a condo, there's a homeowners association, and that kind of helps you out, right, with some of the insurance.
It does. There's a number of different ways to insure a property, and when you go to look at buying your first home or your second home, Vince is exactly right. Things have changed so much, and insurance companies over the past few years have actually lost money in homeowners insurance, because what they do is they take your premium in, they invest it. But when they invest in very low risk options. And with the interest rates low and everything like that, they didn't really need to have such of a profit based on how much you paid for your homeowners. But now they do, because due to the snow in October, Hurricane Sandy, all that stuff, it's gotten a lot more strict. So definitely for homeowners and for condos, one of the main things to look at is there's a master CCR or master documents that show what you have to insure versus what the actual association insures. So the association would insure the building, so it does relieve a lot of the insurance costs from that, but that does get factored into your monthly fee that you pay.
And
so,
John, that insuring the building pretty much means they insure up to the paint on the inside of the house. Is that right?
See, it all depends. Every condo...
Because I've gotten different stories, and I'm so completely, I'm always telling people, well, you better check with each condo, because some say up to the paint, some include the drywall,
Right.
And it's very strange. We have renters get renters policies, and back in the day, we could say to a renter or to a condo buyer, it's like a renter's policy. You're really just insuring like the paint inward. So explain that a little bit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Every condo association has different bylaws that determine what you need to insure versus what they take care of. And a lot of it is up to unfinished or finished drywall. So basically, if you took a house and turned it upside down, for the lack of a better term, and shook it,
what comes out?
Whatever comes out, you need to insure.
I like it. That's a good analogy.
And then from there, you also want to cover some additions and alterations. Say you have some carpet in there when you buy it, but you put in hardwood.
Right. Or
you replace with granite countertops or different cabinets. There is a dwelling coverage for the building that would be additions and alterations that you'd want to look into based on what you've done with the home.
Gotcha.
But other than that, no, you don't have to insure the structure. But you will, when you're looking for a condo, have to really take a look at the monthly fees or the monthly dues, because a lot of we actually insure a condo association. We insure a lot of the master policies for some of the developments around our area, and their prices have gone up drastically due to some slip and fall claims and different property claims that have risen over the years. The cost, as soon as you call ServPro for water damage or one of the other water restoration companies, those bills at a minimum are $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, you know what? That's another good point. It's amazing how much it costs to fix some of those things, and the bill goes right to the homeowners, and hence, the bill goes up.
The master
one.
Mm-hmm.
The amazing thing with condos that people always forget is the roof on the house or the unit 5 doors down affects you.
Yeah.
True.
affects you. You're all sharing that pain together.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's really a big thing too when you get in that situation to maybe be mindful when you do submit insurance claims that, to be honest, you're sort of going after yourself in a way.
Right.
Because for that condo policy, if that goes up based on minimal multiple claims that happen often, you're going to end up paying for that within your monthly fees.
Yeah, I mean, if you're being honest about it, of course, if it's a legitimate issue that needs to be fixed, then, and you're going to use your insurance. That's what it's there for, right?
Right.
But
Exactly.
There are people who seem to be serial insurance claim people or homeowners insurance or home warranty people. They just go after, I think.
Exactly. And what I meant by being more mindful, too, is that some of the deductibles on those large association plans have gone to $5,000 or even $10,000.
Yeah.
So before you get to the insurance even
Better have a
covering
hell of a
structure
claim.
issue, you better
Yeah.
have, right. Now, your unit owner, your condo policy does cover a lot more than you think oftentimes.
Right.
But it's just something to think about that when you put in a claim to the actual association plan, that is still your insurance because you're all
Right.
splitting it up and paying for it.
There's a part to homeowners and even renters and some of these other policies a lot of people always forget, and maybe you can help us out. Liability. It's usually underestimated. People don't really understand it. I mean, what does that really protect you against? How important is it?
The liability actually is as important, if not more important, than any other part of the policy because that can deal with any type of slip and fall claim or anything that happens that you become legally liable for. One of the big things in the industry right now is dog bites.
Oh, wow.
There was recently a $400,000 dog bite claim in Berks County. And
What if I get my own dog to bite me? Does that work? Because my dog is a lab, and he will bite me to play, and if that will get me $400,000, I'll be more than happy.
I think this radio show may be introducing to
Eddie, come over today. Let's get dog bites.
We're not saving the show, are we?
Yeah, this show is about how to get your dog to bite you and claim for $400,000. Okay.
That's called fraud.
Vince, you can submit the claim, but unfortunately you can't be liable to yourself. You better get somebody else's
Eddie,
dog to
come
bite
over,
you.
50-50 split.
There you go. There you go. But
Ed will bite you.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is-
$400,000.
yeah, that is important to note too, especially in the realty world and in the mortgage world when you're qualifying somebody for even a mortgage or when you're looking at houses. It might be worthwhile to ask them if they have a dog or what kind of dog because that will determine how much insurance you're going to have to pay. And when you're dealing with the escrow and everything else, the costs, it's very hard to get insurance right now if you have a Rottweiler, a Doberman, a Pit Bull,
Really?
Akita.
Yeah.
There's a dog list for each insurance company, and they will
I
not
never knew that.
insure you.
Yeah.
it's,
Jeez.
Well,
it's very,
I
very difficult.
I stopped at a client's house who had a pit bull, and this pit bull did not like anybody. And I swear to God, I was terrified. I hadn't felt that kind of fear in a long time. And this sucker came up and nipped my pants and pinched my knee, like just grazed it with his teeth. And it was surreal. And I'm like, I told the guy, I'm never coming back until you put the dog like somewhere else. He's like, oh, he's just getting used to you. And I said, no, forget that.
It might be painful for him to get used to you.
Eddie, I'm going to pull up my pants later, take a look, and if you can
That's
see the
okay,
mark,
man.
we're claiming $400,000, all right? So,
Well, yeah, and the average claim, to be honest, I mean, even if it breaks the skin, I've seen the insurance company have to pay $5,000 or $10,000
Sure.
for barely
Wow.
breaking the skin. So,
what the hell did this dog bite that it was $400,000?
unfortunately, it bit a woman's nose off.
Oh!
Wow,
cocktail
that's
party.
listen. That is worth more
It's right
than
next to the family.
$400,000.
It's right next to the family
That's your
jewels.
moneymaker. Your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bite your nose off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what homeowners insurance will cover and that you don't realize that you're liable for. Like if somebody slips and falls in your driveway. Mm-hmm. And the big thing is trampolines. They're not
Ooh,
allowed
yeah.
a lot of times for homeowners anymore. The homeowners insurance carriers won't insure you. And it's not really even for your kids or if you have people over. It's really when you're not around. And even if a neighbor
Somebody
would
gets on it.
trespass
Like
a
and
bull,
jump,
right?
I mean, yeah. And how do you figure you could be liable for that? It really boggles my mind with the
That's
laws.
crazy.
But if you were on vacation and someone came and broke their neck on your trampoline, you could be liable. You're
Wow.
liable
Oh,
for
wow.
that. You know, it's
I was going to say,
really
if they broke their neck, hopefully they're dead and they won't sue me. So, no, isn't that horrible? But, no, and I think, everything in this world gets more complex,
Liabilities. Yeah.
liabilities.
Yep.
I mean, as computers evolve, so does insurances, so does mortgages, so does real estate. It just, and I think we're in this, we're growing out of our closed period where it's like a strange, turn.
I got a question. Today now, with the way the job market's being, everyone's being an entrepreneur. A lot of people are starting their own businesses, etc.
Because what do they call that? Unemployment is getting cut off earlier now. That's
right,
why.
Exactly. But a lot of these people have home offices. How does that impact things on your end?
It's pretty interesting. It all depends on how you use your home office. Everybody, I would say, 9 people out of 10 have some sort of office in their home that they might, work on their computer in. But if you have clients coming to your house, or if you have any meetings at your house, there's really, once it's a true business exposure, where especially if there's any walk-in traffic, it's something that you need to, number one, you should call your homeowner's insurance company, because sometimes they can add on business use depending on what it is to cover some liability for that. But most times, more often than not, you'd require what's called a business owner's policy, a small business liability policy that sort of separates any liability from what you do personally and what you do professionally.
So I think a lot of people, when they have a home office, they just assume, oh, my homeowners will cover anything.
Yeah, that is an assumption that's going to have to change with all the changes that Vince has mentioned. It's just a different world today. And I think we're almost getting to the point that everything's overly complex and overanalyzed. And
does feel that way.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty scary, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the pay-as-you-go insurance for driving that they're estimating that we will have, I mean, Progressive right now has something that will track you while you're driving.
I noticed that.
Called the
They
Snapshot.
plug it into the... Oh, my God.
It's Big Brother,
Big
right?
Brother's watching me, yeah. God.
In some ways, this stuff is good. It is. And I'm all about just keeping people on track.
Right.
But I don't know.
There is a line, Kim.
I understand. I understand.
There is a line.
Yeah. But, I think that in the end, that type of, moving forward is just really going to, I don't know, it's going to tighten things up for people. It's going to help it be more accurate and get rid of some of these false claims and things like that.
Yeah, and one question I have for you guys, one of the heaviest rating factors for homeowners and auto insurance is your credit score.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
You bring up
now,
such a good
how
point.
that's now involved, right?
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
Well, some places will say, though, well, why are you basing my insurance, like, say, car insurance coverage on my credit and not how I drive?
And the funny thing is, on top of that, I will be the first to say it, I don't think credit scores are scored fairly. They're scored by private companies with individual.
Well,
they change their models. I mean, you could pay all of your debt on time, but not have great credit scores. So
a lot of people don't realize also with credit is it's not all calculated the same way. They have some 50 proprietary models. So for your insurance, carriers trying to use credit, they actually use credit very differently than we would use credit. And they would look at patterns and different items. So it's not clear cut no matter how you look at it, which is even crazier.
Yeah. So what's your question, John?
So the question would be, is that taking it too far in the over complexity? I mean, we have that battle every day about does that affect how you drive for your auto insurance or how you take care of your home? I don't know about the driving portion, but some people say, and the actuaries from the insurance companies truly believe that you're more apt to have an accident. You might be more stressed out. You're not going to pay your bills on time.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think that you can lump that all together. That's my feeling. From what I see, look, I've been in this business watching people go under over the past few years with short sales and foreclosures, and sometimes bad things happen to good people. So while they are taking care of and maintaining their homes beautifully, somebody passes away in the family, or there's a divorce in the family, or someone loses their job, and now all of a sudden things start crumbling around them as far as their credit goes. And so that doesn't mean anything about how you are. It just could be something bad happened to you.
If they continue to go by that model, they will affect people driving because of their credit. I mean, people will be nervous driving with bad credit scores when it truly shouldn't have anything to do with it.
And then where do you draw the line? I mean, is it to a point where if you walk a certain way, you're more likely to do this? If you talk a certain way, you're more likely to lie?
Yeah.
I mean, how far do you go with this?
And see, Eddie's got great credit, can't drive to save his life, okay? Let me tell you. So,
Vince, I would agree with that.
yeah, thanks, John.
But I drive
drove over
great
here
in
with
Kim, that's a
blizzards.
warning. Don't ever go in his car with him, okay?
I'll meet you here when
Yeah.
we
But
do
I'll
the show.
borrow your car.
We make sure Ed's liability limits are very high just for that reason.
Exactly. Well, guys, we are starting to wind down here, so let's get everybody's information. Kim, we'll start with you
Sure.
and how to get a hold of you.
Okay, yeah. I'm in real estate, and I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker Preferred out of the Bluebell office, but taking care of the 5-county area. And you can best reach me online on my website, kimdouglashomes.com.
Wonderful. John, please, and thank you for being here with us, by the way. You were a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Good info.
We'll be here more.
John Bigham. I own a firm called JAB Insurance Brokers. We handle insurance in the 5-county area as well as New Jersey and Delaware. And the easiest way to reach us would be our phone number is 484-366-1281, and on our website at www.jabins.com. And we mostly handle property and casualty insurance of all types, commercial, residential, you name it. Just give us a call. We'll help you out.
Wonderful. Edwin?
Edwin Santiago, Centennial Lending Group, 215-901-0878.
And myself, Vince Sirianni. You can reach me at 610-564-0620. We provide a lot of your lending needs in a wonderful home-style arena. So, everybody, also, we'd like to send out some thanks to Germantown Title Services. Dana and the girls over there are phenomenal in getting title insurance. We love them, and they can be reached at area code 610-631-1537. So, girls, I hope you're up wide and early this morning. I know we're all tired, but thanks again. And everyone else, have a wonderful Sunday. Hopefully, it snows tomorrow a little bit, and we get the day off on Monday.
Thank a company, Hess Land Services, who has helped us out today to open our office and get our lot cleared and salted so all our employees could get in safely.
There you go. Congratulations. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.